My name is David Stokes. I'm getting ready to start my personal experience speech. On the left, I have my wife. On the right, my daughter, my audience for the day. I will start in a few minutes. Driving. Driving in the South, most people think it's a privilege and a right. Me growing up in the North in Philadelphia, the only person drove in my family was my father. Out of 9 brothers and sisters, no one else drove. No one else even thought about driving. My kids was driving at the earliest age. They started driving 14, 15. They got their permit at the earliest age, and they got their license at the earliest possible age. Me, on the other hand, I didn't start driving until I was 18. This is where my story begins. Hi, my name is David Stokes. Learning how to drive was one of the most important events that happened to me. As a young 18-year-old private in the Army, one morning, my sergeant came to me, which was Sergeant Priestley. I never forget him to this day. He said, "Hey, I need you to go get this vehicle. You're going to be my driver today. We're going on road patrol guard duty." I told Sergeant Priestley, "I don't even know how to drive." He looked at me and said, "Well, Private, you're going to learn today." So I walked, which was properly to the motor pool, which was probably less than a mile. I walked up there, found the vehicle, unlocked it, and it was a Jeep, a 4-speed Jeep. Me never driving before, I figured if I know how to push the gas and the brake and know how to steer, I'm going to make it. So I attempted to start it, couldn't start the vehicle, kept cutting off on me. Guy said, "You got pushing that clutch right there." I said, "What's the clutch?" He said, "That thing right there." So I pushed in the clutch, got the vehicle started, got into gear. It took me approximately 20 minutes to go less than a mile. The vehicle must have cut off on me approximately 20 to 25 times just trying to get it there. But I eventually got the vehicle there. It took a while. So I get the vehicle there. Sergeant Priestley jump in the passenger seat. In the driver's seat. We drive out, we relieve the guards, and we get in. Sergeant Priestley jump in the passenger seat, say, "All right, it's all on you." I'm trying to drive. Sergeant Priestley tell me, say, push in on the clutch, the brake, even flow, even flow. And he's sitting there with a cigar, didn't have a care in the world, didn't have his seatbelt on. But that day, he taught me how to drive. And I drove real good. After that, I was selected to be one of the drivers in the platoon of a Gamma Goat. A Gamma Goat is a vehicle from World War II. It had 6 wheels on it, and the wheels was approximately this high, and it had a loud engine where you had to wear hearing protection. I had one person up in the back, which was the sergeant, and 5 or 6 people in the back, which was in the crew compartment. I was responsible for driving them. I drove up hills, down hills. I drove in the rain, the snow. It didn't matter. It was my responsibility, and I loved having that responsibility as a driver. Since then, I have driven all over the world. I've had license in Germany. I had a license in Korea. I had a license in Panama. I even drove in Iraq, teaching the Iraqi army how to drive. So for me, driving is a great experience. This year, I drove to Colorado with my wife and drove back by myself. I've driven coast to coast plenty of time. For me, getting behind the wheel and driving long distance is a relaxing feeling. I get to see most of the country. So for me, a young man growing up in the North, 18 years old, having this privilege to drive, it was a life-changing event for me, one that I will never forget. Thank you.